Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to Convo, a platform we're cultivating our narrative, voicing optimism, giving you our life stories, taking you through our journey with the hope that it inspire and empower someone else. Oftentimes, we have a negative connotation when it comes to um, our culture of black men, black women, black children. It's given to you by way of the news or the media to make us animalistic people when really we're not. We're God's chosen people. When we go through the struggle, we make our mistakes. But where's the root of the problem? I do admit that there is a problem within our community, within our culture, but we must address the root in order to make things any different, to bring about change. Today I have a brother with me today that's all about change, all about putting his boots on and going out into the community, speaking to children, speaking to parents, and getting actively involved in actually reconstructing the mind state of our youth and our people to bring about a better reality for us. This brother, I've not known for a long time, but in the short time that I have known him, I've grown to admire him, definitely respect him, have love for him, and honor for his dedication to the cause of creating a better culture, a better household, and a better individual, more so starting with the kids. So at this time, I welcome my brother, Avery, to the
What's up,
podcast
big
to tell a
dog?
little bit about himself, his mission, his goals, and aspiration as well.
Yeah,
Welcome, brother.
man. I appreciate you, bro. So just a little bit about myself. I've been here in Charlotte since 98, 1998, by ways of Charleston, West Virginia. Um, it's crazy. I was just talking to my lady yesterday, because, I got a 2 year old. So I was talking to her about my 2 year old and stuff like that. And I was telling her, why I am the way I am with my daughter, and why I am the way I am, as far as like doing community work. And my mom and dad, they had me at 17 and 16 years old, but the only person that was in the hospital with me was my mom, my grandma, and my godmom. You know what I'm saying? My biological father wasn't there in the hospital. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the way I am with the community, the way I am with the kids, my nonprofit organization and stuff like that is because of that scenario right there. You know what I'm saying? I was brought into the world with the odds already stacked up against me. And moving to Charlotte was a great move for my mom and for my dad and for myself and for my siblings. It was a positive move. Um, and yeah, I went to high school here, man, in Charlotte. Went to Winston State University, go Rams, and then I went to Liberty University as well, and got my master's in pastoral counseling and life coaching. But prior to me going to Liberty to get my master's in pastoral counseling and life coaching, I started a nonprofit called Hope for Humanity Incorporated, where we provide mentorship for youth. And now within my nonprofit, um, you and I both, we on the leadership board of the HUDDLE Men's Group, where we provide pretty much um, coaching, mentoring for men, and yeah, bro, just doing the work of the community, um, doing the work for people like ourselves, for our families. So yeah, that's what I'm about, bro.
Congratulations, brother.
I
I
appreciate it.
must shake your hand again
Yes,
on that
sir.
because we don't have brothers often that really dive head in to help not only themselves but reach out and help someone outside of themselves. When I look at you, I see you as a brother. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
I look at a black female, I see her as a sister, and we have to bring that bring that back to our minds because now we see one another. It seems like we're almost enemies.
Right.
We see someone and we judge them. I think it's human nature to put someone in a particular category when you see them. But why do we have to put ourselves in the negative category? Why do
Hmm.
we have to be a threat? Why do we have to be violent amongst each other? Why do we can't express loving and kind words to one another? Why do they
Right.
have to be demeaning and derogatory, evil words to one another? So,
Hmm.
while you're working on yourself, it's a job in itself.
Right.
But to have the, the want to reach out and help someone else is just phenomenal. And you said something that stood out to me. You were speaking about the reason why you started out on your path because when you uh, were born that you had strictly just women in the hospital.
Right.
So we know that who we are today is a result of our past, how we came
Yeah.
up and the personality we developed along the way. So we must start there. And how are you able to just remember that moment? And what is it about that just in itself that sparked you to go out and want to reach
Well,
other people?
my mom told me the story. You know what I'm saying? how everything went down. You know, she was young. You know, my biological father was young, but his parents wasn't with it. You know, so my mom, I mean, she said she tried everything in her power, you know, to get in contact with him on the day of that I was born, but she couldn't get in contact with him, you know, and it was just, like I said, her mom and my godmom at the hospital. And I guess like with that, you know, me recognizing that, and when my mom told me that, I was like, dang, okay, I came into this world with like already the odds stacked up. Like I'm innocent, you know what I'm saying? But I came into the world with the odds already stacked up against me. Now, I got a great father, you know what I'm saying? His name's Jamal, you know what I'm saying? And you met my dad, you know what I'm saying? But
Honorable guy.
he's not my biological father. Nobody would know that, you know what I'm saying? But he been taking care of me. You know, he took care of me. He started at 16. He was a kid himself, you know what I'm saying? So he started taking care of me. He stood up and did what a man was supposed to do, even though he was a child himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the things that, you know, that I do now, as far as raising my daughter, as far as going out into the community, working with these young men, working with these young women, a lot of things that I do that working on with doing with the Huddle Up Men's Group is from all the lessons, all the trauma that I've been through. You know what I'm saying? And everything that I've been through, it created something inside of me. Now that now I'm able to go out there and provide those lessons that I learned to others. You know what I'm saying? So,
in particular, if you want to disclose that, what trauma that you've been through, or maybe a few that you've been through, to kind of just, this is it. This is, I got to get out. I got to do something. I got to tell people about this, and I got to help people.
right. Yeah, man. Well, one that my biological father not being there. You know what I'm saying? That's trauma within itself. You know, a boy always want his dad in his life. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you have graduations, you play sports. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, even though I had a father figure there, you know, it still is like, where you at? You know what I'm saying? So that trauma there, and then just my mom and dad was young. Again, they were young, so the things that they did don't necessarily work today. You know, as far as me raising my child, you know what I'm saying? So I try to do something different for my child. You know, I want my child to see different. I want her to have different. I want to be able to provide certain things. You know what I'm saying? So that those two right there, you know, just watching the things that my mom and dad that didn't necessarily work for me, and that I felt like didn't work. And then you know, just marriage too, you know what I'm saying? Like being married and now going through a divorce, you know what I'm saying? Like everything, bro. It's just like, it just really changed the way I move, the way I help people, the way I talk to people, the way I look at somebody and tell that they like really need help. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got a story, bro. You know what I'm saying?
We all have a story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I remember you saying like you had some tragic incidents in your life involving other people, when you had some close friends that have passed, and kind of really sparked the interest to get out and help, to do what you can. So with your upbringing, how was that for? Were you in a nice environment, nice neighborhood?
Yeah, like man, my mom and dad didn't buy their first house until I was 17. You know what I'm saying? So my mom and dad struggled for a minute, you know. Now, granted, compared to like J. Cole said, compared to some of my brothers down the block, we were blessed. You know what I'm saying? Because I was blessed to have a mom and dad in the same household. You know, my mom and dad didn't play that. You know, like they provided for us, they took care of us. We didn't go to the same high school as everybody else. They sent us across town. You know what I'm saying? I went to Olympic. Everybody else went to Waddell. You know, even though we all stayed in the same neighborhood, Waddell was a 2-minute walk. Olympic was a 15-minute drive, 20-minute drive. You know what I'm saying? So my mom like, nah, y'all ain't going to that high school. Y'all going somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't about to be getting in trouble. But then the neighborhood, it was a great experience. It was a great experience because of all the kids that was in the neighborhood. Like it was a lot of kids in the neighborhood. That's why my upbringing, I feel like it was dope. But when I look back on it, everything that I was exposed to, you know, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff my mom and dad don't even know to half the stuff that I did, that I went through, only because of the neighborhood that I was in, bro.
It's always like that.
Bro, it was wild. It was wild, but it was a great experience. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that's why I feel like I am the way I am today. Like I don't act and move like I'm fed on a silver spoon. That's why I'm able to go out here and adapt to pretty much any and everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I can adapt with the brother that got locked up for some time. You know what I'm saying? I can adapt to somebody that went to college because I was in an environment with both. You know what I'm saying? I went to college, but I also hung with the dudes that was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So now I can I'm the middle ground. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do that, you know, and but the neighborhood, bro, no. My mom and dad struggled for a while. We in West Virginia, we were constantly moving. You know what I'm saying? When we moved to Charlotte, we stayed off of Nation Ford Archdale. We stayed there from 98 to like 2004, 2005 in that same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? We lived with my uncle. My uncle, it was 11 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment, put it that way. So my uncle had 4 kids, him and his wife, my mom and dad, they 3 kids, and then Miss Iris, and then it might have been Junie sleeping on the couch. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? So and then my mom and dad finally like, it's time for us to get our own spot. So my dad moved us down the street on the same street in the neighborhood, but they just moved us down the street. You know what I'm saying? 648 apartment B. Still remember, bro. You know what I'm saying? So just living on Archdale was a great experience, bro. But the neighborhood itself was like that.
It's crazy the similarities. Like people take different paths, but if they kind of trace themselves back, that they kind of came up the same way.
Right, bro.
Myself, like we were in a household, and at times it was myself, my mother, grandmother, my 2 brothers. We'll have one older, one younger. And my uncle. My aunt may be there, my cousin may be there, whoever, because my grandmother was always, I'm not going to kick you out. If you need a place to stay, come here, you can get have a roof over your head, you can have food on the table, but you're going to get your ass out and do something in the morning, but I'm not going to kick you out on the street. Y'all still my baby, but she like that to this day. And I'm in a rough neighborhood, a decent neighborhood from the beginning, but mom wanted to get out and do, be on her own with her 3 kids. We went out, we moved to an area that wasn't so good with the projects, Gonzales Gardens projects. I learned to love. To me, it was, she wanted to get out there and we didn't stay very long, but I loved it because, all the kids seemed like they were grown on their own. Where y'all parents at? It's like they didn't have parents.
Right.
I still had parents, and my mother would go to bingo and we'd kind of stay out a little late and have fun. But when my grandmother come over there, get your ass in the house when the lights on, Mama Jean is here.
Yeah.
So today we got to be back at the house, and she gonna come on the block, and she gonna bring your ass
embarrass you.
Yeah. So, but it's all love, and she's like that to this day. But for me, school was like, okay, let me just go through the process. Let me go through school, and I can't wait to get out. When I get out, it's over. I'm through with this shit. Whereas you were in a similar environment, and though you went to a different school, you had to come back to that very same environment where everybody lived. Everybody talked about what happened in school, and you see certain things going on in your neighborhood, but you still wasn't moved like the rest of those people. You still went on.
I mean, at 16, I got jumped into the game with the neighborhood gang. I got off the bus, and my 3 homeboys that was already in the neighborhood gang, they what's up, bro? At 16, they was waiting on me off the bus, and sitting at my bus stop. They was like, "What's up? You want to be down?" I was like, "Yeah." So they took me behind the neighborhood, the apartment complex, behind the building, and put the bandana on around my eyes, spent me around in circles, and next thing you know, I got speared and I got jumped. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I wouldn't say that I didn't grow down that path, because I did, but I think I had more so of a focus on playing football. I had a saving grace, you know what I'm saying? Playing football was my first love, and the men in the neighborhood, the older men, because I hung with older men, and I was probably the fastest in the neighborhood too. The older men would want to race me. They would put money up. When it came to boxing, they had put money up for me when it come to boxing and shit like that. They'd call my dad. Like, hey, can Abe come outside? Can he box? We got money on him because I can box. I was fast and running, taking people's money and running. So the older men was like, hey, you need to stay focused. Like I had older men, like, and still to this day, I still be, if I see them, football, that's all they talk about. You know what I'm saying? And they be like, hey, you need to focus, bro. You can ball. You can ball. You know what I'm saying? And everybody in the neighborhood knew that. And then they started seeing, once I went to high school, they started seeing me lifting weights. It was like, damn, bro, you getting bigger. Focus, stay focused. So they fed me, the older men fed me football. Instead of feeding me the streets, they fed me football. Plus, my dad didn't play that shit.
Okay.
Like, my dad was, like I said, like, compared to some of my homeboys, like, my mom and dad, they already knew. Like, nah, don't even bring Avery. Because my mama come outside, bro. my mama let the whole neighborhood have it. She would. She didn't care who kid you was. This she'd say, now go get your mama. And they already knew.
So how did it affect you? Like you were jumping into the game, so
Right.
you're part of this game, but your mom wasn't having this. So how did it affect you and your relationship with your peers in the neighborhood?
I mean, I still went to parties with my boys. My mom and dad gave us freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like they were on us. Like you going to school, you getting good grades, you gonna play ball, you ain't getting in trouble. But at the same time, they give us freedom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was able to go to the movies with my homeboys, catch the bus with my homeboys and go to the movies. I was able to go to these house parties. I was able to go to the club and stuff like that. Like my mom and dad gave us freedom. So and like I said, like half the stuff they don't even know that I was doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like now my little brother, he knew everything because he was just 2 years younger. But my mom and dad didn't even know half the stuff I was doing. They didn't even know that I got jumped in. You know what I'm saying? So still to this day, my dad say, "Well, you see, you got the little flag hanging about it out his pocket," but they probably think it's a game, but it was something serious that I was involved with. You know what I'm saying? So, but my homeboys, they really didn't care about none of that stuff. Like they respected my mom and dad, but at the same time, you know, we kids, so it was like when they see him, what's up, Mr. Jamal? What's up, Miss Tammy? You know what I'm saying? It was respect. You know what I'm saying? And then we all stayed in the same neighborhood, so they always seen my mom and dad. So it was mutual. It was respect because, like my homeboy said today, your mom was like the neighborhood mom. You know what I'm saying? So my mom showed love to everybody, but at the same time, she'll discipline your ass too.
Right.
You know, my dad was the same way. My dad was a hustler, but the older guys in the neighborhood knew, don't give Avery no drugs or don't give Avery no alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Like
respect.
It was respect, you know, and I mean that's how I was able to move and that's how I was able to like conquer being in that type of environment. You know, even though I went straight down the wrong path a little bit, I still had that saving grace, which was football. And plus I think that's what these young men and women are missing today. Those older men in the neighborhood that's actually feeding their dreams. Like, bro, you could do that shit, dog. Like, you can actually go play, you know. And then my mom and dad at 17, finally, when my age was like really getting up there and I really could have started getting into stuff, that's when they was like, nah, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? And because the neighborhood started getting worse, we started getting older, so they started seeing certain things. My homeboy got shot. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, oh yeah, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying?
Too close.
Somebody got shot in front of the apartment, my window. I'm in the house playing a video game. My mom ran in the room like, "What you hear that?" I'm like, "What? What? Somebody just got shot out in front of your window. Get down!" And you know what I'm saying? Like a Hispanic got shot, got his car stolen, got shot out front of the window. You know, and I'm in the room playing the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's when mom was like, "You know what? Oh, we got to go." You know what I'm saying? So it was a big change after that.
So you had a good family structure, and within in the neighborhood, you also had older gentlemen that recognize your talent and encourage you to stay focused on your talent.
Yeah, bro.
Whereas they were older and they were maybe too late to exercise their talent. I don't know how they were living at the time, but oftentimes we could get some valuable information from a homeless person, a bum on the street. When you see them, you know, people see these people, they have a tendency to judge them for what they physically see at the moment, but you don't know this man's story. You don't know where he or she has been or has gone through.
Yeah, it's true.
And where they're at now. When you're looking at them now sleeping on the street, yesterday they could have been a mass murderer, a killer or something. So they they've made leaps and bounds you know, in their journey. But we have a tendency to judge people for where they're at now, see them for where they're at now. But because he's a homeless, he's on the street, or maybe because he's incarcerated, he could tell you what not to do to become like that.
Facts.
Not why you ain't like that. Why you gonna
Mm-hmm.
tell me something? Why you like that? Or a lot of the younger generation now may look at yourself or myself as like older heads and call you unc and older, you know,
Yeah.
think you're old head, old school, don't know what he's talking about. But the same thing that's going on today is going on last week,
Yep.
last year, last 10 years, 20 years. They just
Continuous
put a little
cycle.
twist on it, but it's the same thing. So we're fast forwarding to today, where we have a lot of violence. We have in the neighborhoods, in the household, children not respecting their mothers, not respecting their parents, not even respecting those older people in the community that can provide some positive insight. Where do we start, and how do we approach these kids today if we want change?
Uh, I wouldn't say it would start with the kids. I would say it would start with the family structure. Um, I say you help the family, you help the parent or the caregiver or the guardian first. Um, Once you provide that help for them, you figure out the structure of their day-to-day life. Once you figure out the structure, because 9 times out of 10, there's something missing. Um, there's some type of trauma that that parent has dealt with within themselves, and they pass it along to their child. Um, and then now their child has to deal with their parents' trauma and their own trauma, and now they acting out
It's
because
compounded.
yeah. So I would say we start with the family structure. We start with the parents. We we develop a plan for the mom, the dad. We ask them how their day-to-day life is. How much are they involved in their child's life? Do they even know their child's friends? My mom knew all my childhood friends, all my childhood parents, childhood friends' parents. Do you know your childhood friends' parents? Do you know who your child is hanging with on a day-to-day basis? Do you have their parents' phone numbers? Do you have their parents' addresses? If you needed to go and pick up your child, do you know where to pick them up at? School. How involved are you with them in school? We can't expect the teachers to raise our kids. No, the teacher is there to give them instruction 8 hours of the day, but your child is with you 16. You know what I'm saying? So the teacher is there to just teach. Now we need to have the parents involved more in the schools, get them in the PTA. It need to be some type of thing where you have to go to the PTA meetings. You know what I'm saying?
Mandatory.
It's mandatory. You know, to get to know your child's teachers, or whatnot. Um, Scheduling. You know, how is the schedule when they get home? Don't just let your child free roam. You know what I'm saying? They need to have a schedule, and it needs to be a contract. You know what I'm saying? And not saying like a contract where it's a strict contract, but it's a contract of saying like, you said that you would do this, I'm holding you accountable. So if you said you was gonna take out the trash on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you need to be doing that. That's holding those kids accountable. But it's also teaching them structure. You know what I'm saying? It's your day to clean the dishes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So ain't no reason why them dishes ain't clean. Your room should be clean. Your bed should be made every day. Those kids need to have structure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the structure comes from the parent. If the parent ain't providing that structure, then the kid is going to do what they want to do.
Right.
And that's one thing that my mom and dad did. Like, they provided structure. We had chores. You know what I'm saying? So providing chores. When it comes to school and grades, like, nah, you can't be rewarding these kids with certain things, shoes and clothes, and they're not even doing what they're supposed to do in the school.
Most definitely.
And then not only that, parents got to stop looking like their kids. You know what I'm saying? Parents got to stop acting like their kids. Parents got to stop being their kids' friends. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where they get messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not friends.
You're
You're
not
a
able to
parent.
look at him as a parent. You're more so looking
Exactly.
as a friend.
Yeah,
you say
bro.
anything, do anything.
Yeah.
This is your homeboy.
Exactly. And
Right.
and then another thing, like, kids need to understand who they are. Like, we're not teaching our child who they are. We're not teaching them where they come from. We're not teaching them whose they are. You know, the first thing a child get when he is born is their name. You know what I'm saying? So your name has significant meaning. What does your name mean? Well, if your name is Leo, You got to understand a Leo is a lion. You know what I'm saying? That means you a king. A king means if you're a lion and you a king, that means you got to live by that standard. And if you're not living by that standard, then you living below your means. You got, and also you got to understand, what does a lion do? A lion is a carnivore, which means he gonna eat. He an animal. He a beast. You got to learn how to tame that beast. So if your name has significant meaning, my name is Avery, which means elf wisdom. You know what I'm saying? I got wisdom, but I have to know how to use that wisdom. Right. You know what I'm saying? I can use that wisdom for evil, or I can use it for good. You know what I'm saying? Just like a Leo. Leo, he can use it for evil, or he can use it for good. You know what I'm saying? So I think these kids need to know who they are and whose they are, bro.
Most definitely. The more important part of it is, like I said, structure and a sense of accountability.
Yeah.
So you have to be accountable, because if that's not taught in the home, then you go out into society and you commit crimes, you know, and the law says ignorance of the law, you know, is no excuse. You must know the law. So whatever you go out here and do, if you break the law, there's consequences according to the law. Yep. That has to be, you know, that comes about if you break that law. And you can say, I don't know, my mama never taught me, y'all ain't taught me in school. But hey, the ignorance of the law, there's no excuse.
Right.
So if we don't have that structure in the house, we go out in society and we do what we want to do whenever we want to do it, and expecting the reward, it's not going to happen like that. But it's consequences. The law should be taught in school. If this is a law that governs every individual within the United States, then this law should be taught in school. So I would know how to go out and conduct myself when I'm in the jurisdiction of the law.
Right.
And my household might be different, but if you taught this in the household, then it's going to reflect when you walk outside of the household as well, because you're going to be accountable. But oftentimes we don't know the law. There's no structure. There's an old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Bro, like you had those elders in your community that you know, say, Avery, well, he can run, you know, he can box, stay focused. A lot of us didn't have that at all, and we stepped outside the house, no accountability, no structure, and now we're just running around in society. And sooner or later, those young men become adults.
Yeah.
And there is a need for an adult to seek to know himself as well. I'm 47 years old, and a lot of things that I'm learning now, it's like, I should have known this as a younger kid, but there was no one there to provide that for me. Maybe it was someone there, and I just choose not to listen. I know that you've put together the men's huddle group, which is aimed at, providing a safe space for men to come in, the fellowship, to talk about whatever may be on their mind. But the focus is to uplift that individual, to help him deal with his past traumas, to recognize his worth, and being the leader of the household, or the head of the household, going out, and he can share the same wisdom with his wife or his offspring as well. Yeah. So I commend you on that, because just kind of coincidence, I guess, how it came together, and I was invited to the first meeting, and I got a lot out of that meeting. But prior to that, when you put together the put down the guns, pick up the weights event, how that was very inspiring and touching to me. But I've been on this journey too, and wanting to start, and you've already started, but just to come to that kind of sparked something in me, and I know that you're serious about what you're doing. And, I commend you on that, and I think that there's no strange happenings, that everything happens by law or by God, and we brought us together, and the rest of the brothers involved as well, to come together and form this lion and go out into the jungle of society, and resurrect fallen humanity. But the huddle group in itself is good, and I invited a few brothers out that hadn't ever been a part of men getting together with a positive attitudes and expressing love.
Yeah, bro, we need it,
and growth.
We need that,
and they love that. So I'm looking forward to the movement of the men's huddle group, which everyone is welcome to, and the aim is just to get back on the right track and go in and reconstruct our family, reconstruct our mind, know that we are valuable, know where we came from, know that we are who we are. As you spoke of name is very important, because you aspire to become, what your name represents. And we've gotten away from that. A lot of names now that we don't really have any positive connotation, doesn't really mean too much of anything, or we don't even know what it means. Whereas in old days, you had a name, especially in early civilization, you had a name that actually meant something. You aspired to become that. and there was ceremonies, there was rituals to help you understand what goes on internally.
Yeah.
You know, from a physical aspect of it, we don't know what goes on the inside. So there are ceremonies and rituals that we do physically was only a representation of what the internal working of the spirit of the body. So you aspire to become what your name was, what your parents had named you. That's why we had at a young age kings and queens that were able to rule dynasties. You know, because we know education came not only when the child was born, but you know when they were conceived, they're just going off energy and vibration. So there were certain things that they did at that particular time when that child was in the womb to educate that child. Because the true sense of education, is like educare. Educare is to bring out something that's already in you. And we know that something that's already in us is God within us. And we have to aspire to become, in the physical, aspire to become more Christ-like or God-like, however you like to put it, but to bring about those godly qualities and kind of suppress the human qualities, because human qualities will lead us into destruction.
Right.
You know, we have the Savior within us. Also, we carry with us the devil at all times, which are our physical beings that never satisfied. It's like a war constantly going on, you know, within man himself. But if we equipped with the knowledge of who we are and the power that we have within ourselves, then we can better fight that war.
That's right.
So even into the household, you speaking that you're a parent and you currently going through a divorce. Sometimes we're in relationships as well. Relationships don't always go the way we expect it to go. When we, you know, join hands and put the ring on the finger and say we love each other to death do us part, it don't always go that way, because if you're not on the same path mentally, you may have not just jump around, but you may have goals, aspirations that stemming from your childhood that you can't compromise. You got to go do what you want to do. And the woman may be the same way according to her background. But I think that we should be able to, whatever our goals may be, as a family, we should be able to get together and say, okay, what you're interested in is not really my thing, but I'll support you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And from a husband looking at the wife, I ain't really into that, but I believe in it. We sit down and talk about it. I'm going to support you, however. So you understand my movements, I understand your movements, and we're going to have disagreements. But I think what we're missing is the ability to sit down and understand one another.
Right.
A lot of times, the individual don't want to feel vulnerable, so even with their husband or with their wife, they don't share everything about themselves like we're sharing right now. But I think we get together and share, look, this is how I feel. I understand that what you went through. I may not understand that, okay, every time I touch you, you tense up or you feel some type of way, and I think it's crazy. You don't express to me. I think it's crazy. And I go out, you don't want me to touch, I'm going to go out and get with a woman that loves me, makes me, and respect me. On the other hand, if we don't understand what she's went through and why she's acting this way, she may have been touched inappropriate as a child. She may have went through physical abuse, emotional abuse, or whatever. So now me knowing this, I can understand this. I have to be careful with her.
Yeah.
And I love her, so I got to be patient with her. And I got to understand her. And her, on the other hand, understanding this man was playing a game at a young age. He, you know, looked out his window, a man laying dead, a shot outside his window. His mama come in and said, "Get down." He's scared of gun. He hear loud noise. You know, or you scream at him too loud. He's on the defense. So just understanding. So when a man and a woman begin to open up and understand one another, I think that the chance of their relationship lasting is better than just having no understanding, just getting with someone out of love, out of their physical appearance, and saying we can make it work. But I also recognize it when it's not going to work.
Right.
Because should I just sacrifice my whole life, my movement, everything that I set out to be because I love this person? But I'm miserable. Because when you come home, I think home should be a place of peace, solace.
That's your peace.
When I'm out into the world and I'm subject to all these toxins or these toxic environment, toxic conversation, toxic energy. Then I come home, I should be able to detox. I'm not coming to the door and say, "Where you been? Yeah, you supposed to be here 10 minutes ago."
Right. Nobody don't want none of that.
You ain't cooked in 2-3 weeks. You ain't said I love you 2-3 weeks. You ain't asked me how my day was. You ain't give me a hug. You didn't do anything. So it's like you coming from all the toxicity of the world and coming home to more toxicity. So if you just feel with toxic energy, then that's what you're going to give off.
Yeah.
So what would you say in the being married? I'm married as well, but being in a relationship, in a marriage, and things not going the way that you think it should be, to the point that you have to divorce. What is that deciding factor? And I'm gone.
Everything you just said. Shit, I wasn't getting a cooked meal like that. Shit, I was even washing my own clothes. And coming in the house as a black man, fighting the world, and then having to come home and fight my lady too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Her coming in the house as a woman, fighting the world, having to put on this persona to show that she a strong black woman, but coming in the house and trying to be a strong black woman with me too. Like, I want that feminine energy. I don't want that masculine energy that you got to put off into the world.
Softness.
Yeah. So when you come into the house and I'm always getting masculine, like, I don't want no man. I want a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want a woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But also the communication factor. Bro. Like, don't shut down. Like, I understand we might be going through some stuff, but don't shut down. Like, communicate, talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't have to go to bed 2 or 3 days in a row sleeping in different rooms.
Not talking.
And not talking.
Right.
You know, or when I call or try to talk to you, or even if I'm in the same living room with you, you want to text me instead of having that communication with me. You just upstairs or something. Like, come downstairs and talk.
Right.
Because you don't want to verbally talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So all that, man. And then just making sure that before any man get in a relationship and feel like he want to take it to the next level, making sure that you got all your ducks in a row too. You know what I'm saying? As far as like finances, credit, some type of plan. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure that that woman knows about your plan. You know, she know about your dreams, and if she ain't gonna support you at the beginning of your dreams, she ain't gonna support you in the middle or the end. You know what I'm saying? And then just making sure everything's not one-sided, where you really just supporting her and she ain't really supporting you. She barely giving you any kind of support. You know what I'm saying? Now she might show up here and there, but you ask her to do something and it ain't the support that you want. You know what I'm saying? You ask her to do this certain thing, but she gonna tell you what she gonna do to support you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, that's not the help I needed. You know what I'm saying? And parenting styles too. Like, parenting styles got to be the same. You know, if the parenting styles is different, that's gonna play a huge role also. You know, because when it comes to the child going to the doctor, you know, vaccinations, stuff like that, you know, that is going to play a huge factor. You know what I'm saying? So just making sure that y'all evenly yoked, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you said people growth, you know, evenly yoked, you might be evenly yoked at the beginning, but somebody might find a different path when it comes to spirituality. You know what I'm saying? And like for me, I started growing more spiritually. I seen later on in my relationship, I started growing more spiritually, and it started turning me. I don't know. I just started changing spiritually. You know what I'm saying? As a man, I became a new father of a baby. So I wanted to be better as a man. You know, for both of my girls. So spiritually, I became better, and sometimes you just recognize that people just not trying to change. They okay with who they are. And when you see that, that means you just like that you might be outgrowing each other. You know what I'm saying? And I heard a pastor say at one time, he was like, what these preachers need to stop doing is telling people to stick in these relationships when they know they're not supposed to stick in these relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times that's what people are doing. They stand because that's what the pastor said. That's what the church say you're supposed to do.
Image of it.
Yeah, the image. You know what I'm saying? So you know when something's not for you. Your spirit tells you. Don't ignore your spirit. Don't ignore the red flags. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. I ignored the red flags for so long. But then my spirit started like, bro, it's like,
hitting your heart.
Like, bro, you know what's up. Like, you already know you ain't supposed to. Nah, this ain't right. Everything you going through is not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a good dude. You a good man. Like, you provide for your family. You might not be rich, but you provide. Y'all don't go without. You know what I'm saying? And when stuff like that, when you know that you're a good man and you provide for your family, but it's not being appreciated in that aspect, you ain't got no other choice. Like you said, you're gonna find somebody, you're gonna go out there, and you might not do it while you're in that marriage or in that relationship, but you're gonna go out there and somebody that recognize that, they're gonna snatch you up.
I think it's natural, excuse me, not to cut you off, but I think it's natural for someone to, whether be man or woman, to seek that, to seek peace, to seek protection, love. They say that a man, for a man, he just needs respect. You know, a
Respect,
woman
bro.
needs love.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to ponder on that, and I
Woman wants
understand that to
security.
be true.
Yeah.
She's nurturing, she's loving, you know, but the man just want to just respect me, and
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna transfer to love in my eyes. That's
Yeah.
love. You respect me. You don't respect
Mm-hmm.
me, then what is love if
Bro, I'm
you
trying
don't
to tell
respect
you,
me?
respect
So
is everything.
if I know red flags may come up, and if you have grown in your spiritual development, maybe your other half hadn't, I think it's our duty to try to enlighten them as well,
Right.
you know, along your journey, because you may when you get more knowledge and you get more closer, understanding of yourself, understanding of God within you, then this is a exciting feeling. You want to share this with somebody, and I
Mm-hmm.
understand that everybody's not on the same course, not in the same place along the path.
Right.
But we get this information. I'm excited to share this with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to share this with my stepkids.
Right.
But in the end, it's up to them to take this and to run with it or use it to better themselves or not. But we can outgrow each other.
Yeah.
And no matter how much we love each other, we can't outgrow each other. You see these red flags, red flags, red flags, and never choose to pick them up and try to attempt to turn them to yellow, turn
Mm-hmm.
them to green. We'll just ignore them and think we have peace in our household out of love. So
Mm-hmm.
even though you've been spiritually convicted and your spirit's telling you, you know this is not right, you know this ain't right, then it still is not easy a process to break off that relationship.
It ain't.
So what is not we're not getting too personal, but how does that feel? Like someone you love and you want to be with, but it's just not there, and you made a decision for the betterment of yourself, maybe for the betterment of her and your children to move forward.
Bro, it was when I left. I still remember the day that I left, like it was yesterday. Um, when I decided to leave my wife, bro, that was tough because my daughter, my youngest, was only 1, and I remember walking up the steps and saying bye, letting them know I was leaving. You know what I'm
Those were
saying?
your words.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm out. Um, and me and her it was a mutual agreement. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, I'm out, y'all. And my youngest daughter, sitting on the bed, looked at me and said, "Daddy." And I turned around and I looked, and she blew me a kiss. And I walked down the steps and I sat on the couch and I broke down, bro. Like I bawled. And then I got up and I walked through the door.
Did they see you crying?
Nah, they did. They was upstairs. And I say this because it took me 5 counseling and therapy sessions. It took me 3 or 4 men groups. It took me going like back and forth to counseling by myself to I exhausted everything, every resource before I decided to get up and leave.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't one of those things where I was like, I'm out. It was like I tried.
Right. And like I had enough, I'm gone. You did
Yeah,
everything to save the relationship.
I tried. You know what I'm saying? We was even in therapy before I left. Like we was in therapy before I left, but I was burnt out.
It was done.
I was done. And I even through therapy, I was like, and I would be sitting in therapy, bro, and I would just be like, damn, it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's actually over, bro.
That's good, but it didn't turn you bitter. It didn't turn you bitter
No.
toward women. It didn't make you hate marriage
Hell
or hate
nah.
relationship or just go out and just be reckless in society. I'm free now. So
Yeah,
as
bro.
you move forward, you still have a great drive and ambition to help others. And what
Yeah,
great
bro.
of a teacher as one that has gone through those things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, childhood into your marriage, into divorce, into still co-parenting
Yeah.
and raising a child. You've been through this, so you're able to, like you said, you're able to look at the different aspects of people's life and understand them, even though you may not have been through them, or you may have been through them. You're able to understand where they're at. You understand what
Mm-hmm.
they may need when that person may not even recognize what they may need
Yeah.
or what they're lacking. You're able to look in and assess that maybe through counseling, through talking, or in the group with
Mm-hmm.
brothers sharing information. You'll say, okay, well, this brother's going through this particular thing. This I may assist him,
Mm-hmm.
or this brother has gone through it, so he's better at assisting this brother. So I recognize that, and I think, and I know that the movement itself, as far as the men's huddle group, is going to be a great movement because we have many different men for different aspects of
Yeah,
life, different
bro.
walks of life, that's on the same path. When you have that much energy and power in one room and direct its focus on one particular area or focus on uplifting, our culture, then it has to be impactful. Nothing can really stop it.
Right.
The energy is power. Power is there, but if it's not, that energy is not directed to a certain path, then these lights may be on in this place. There's energy that exists, but it must be channeled to those lights. It must be channeled to the heater, to the air, whatever. So energy just sitting there stagnating. It may be powerful, but it's just power just sitting there.
Yeah.
So we have a power in the unity of the group, but now we have to go out and channel that energy to different parts of the culture, energize them, and then in the end we have a strong culture. It's not an easy task because we're gonna be met with opposition, but we got to hold ourselves accountable, and we have to reflect back too and understand it's not. We can't blame anybody else. We've been doing the blame game for a long time, but if you really look at it, this is a systematic um, process. This is planned for us. We know who we are. We were great people. We're considered godly people, God's chosen people. So it's not in the best interest of society or the system to let you know who you are. It's not in the best interest of the school to let you know who you are and what your name is and what you should aspire to be. This is on us. So we have to go in and actually teach this to our kids. Other men that must share this information with other men, must share this information with other women, because we're not just a monolith. We're separated. You got kids, we got the man, you have women. So the kids have to be addressed, the man has to be addressed, and the woman has to be addressed. And we must instill those qualities in us that will create a better future for ourselves.
Facts.
So once moving out of your relationship and stepping into the new Avery, I don't think you're married at this moment, but moving forward as a single man and raising your kids, can you look back now and say, this is where I'm supposed to be? I'm really on my path now.
Yeah, I feel like God blessed me with another opportunity to start over. You know what I'm saying? I'm still young. I'm 35. You know what I'm saying? Like, God just blessing me with opportunities. You know what I'm saying? You went through what you went through. You learned everything you needed to learn. You're not bitter. You still moving the way you moving out of love. Instead of hate. Like I'm just doing everything that I'm supposed to do when it comes to just being a dad, when it comes to being a son of God, bro. It's like God just giving me opportunities, you know what I'm saying? So I feel great where I'm at, Granted, the situation that I went through, it is what it is, but I feel great, and I just feel like, I got a second chance.
Right.
Not many people get those second chances, but so many people stick in marriages and relationships for so long, dog, and they know it ain't working. And I don't know, bro. I just feel blessed.
You should feel blessed. I feel blessed as well. Now, blessed by just the words that you're speaking, the part of your life that you're sharing with me. Where do you see yourself like now, or from right now, this point, moving forward? What are some of your goals and aspirations? Where do you see yourself maybe the next year, and to further go the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in?
Well, I see me being primary for my daughter. I see me in a nice house, a beautiful woman. I need a new car right now. New car. The Huddle Up men's group. I see us taking over the city. You know what I'm saying? Going out here, taking over the community. Shedding light. Going into the schools. Just doing stuff all over the city of Charlotte. I see our program like really taking off. Possibly opening up a gym, but more so, I think me and Don, we're gonna go the route of, the online training. So I see like having one of the largest online/virtual training platforms.
Is this online training physical?
Yeah, it's physical fitness. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we've been tackling that, man, and it's been doing good. I've been doing that for the last 2 weeks, online training. So it's been doing good.
Okay.
But
I can I know that without asking that this person Don is a good person, because you often speak of her.
Oh yeah.
And without the introduction, like
Yeah,
Don, we're like, who is Don? Who is Don?
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's always positive when
yeah,
you
yeah,
speak about it. It seems
yeah,
like that's a good partner for
yeah,
you.
yeah,
That
yeah,
really
yeah,
has
yeah,
your back. So
yeah. She's
that's
solid.
definitely
Yeah, Don
admirable
solid,
inspiring.
bro.
Right.
And she ain't got no kids.
Okay. Okay. So
So,
you can see yourself building the future
yeah,
with
yeah,
that. So
yeah. So, it's rare to
that's
find
right.
a woman out here without kids. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, it's like it is. It's rare to find a man without kids. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, gotta count your blessings when you
Right.
get. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah. But she a good one. She a good one. She got my back too. I already know she did. You know
That's
what I'm
good,
saying?
brother. That's
So,
powerful to have someone to
yeah,
have your back. You can get so much done if you have someone
yeah.
have your back. You have their back as well. You can get and you all, whether she's doing something different or you doing something different, that y'all still going in the same direction. There's
Right.
progress. So
Yeah. Yes, sir.
that needs to be in every house. So I'm not saying that one can't do it by himself or by herself, but I think a man was put there for a woman, woman's put there for man, and we should be on the same accord
I'm
and
telling you.
raising our children as well with the same accord. Not really, if I tell you something as a father, you go to your mom and she say, "Yeah, you can do it." No, if I
Mm-hmm.
told you something, I'm your father, then that's what it is. You're gonna go
Yeah.
to your mother. But
Facts.
not to be too long-winded, I think that the way that a lot of women may be today is kind of because of what they've been through. Whereas the black man wasn't in the household, such as yourself, you was born, your father went there. My father was there, but soon left. Maybe 4 or 5 years old, I think. But he was a great father while he was there. But
Mm-hmm.
why he left, I don't know. I don't know what went on between two adults to make him leave. Today, we have a great relationship. I love him. I don't judge him on the past. I don't know what he went through. To
Mm-hmm.
my father, you know, I went through what I went through. I've grown to become a man. I still can look back and I still appreciate you. I still love you. I
Yeah.
don't hold any ill feelings towards you. But I think that the women has become a lot of women have become the way they are because of what they've gone through. The man not being there,
Yep.
man not giving a damn, a man just impregnating them and moving on about
Right.
the business and treating them, bitches and hoes, so to
Yeah.
speak. So now they become hardened to the
Mm-hmm.
point where they've assumed the role of the female and the man, the
Mm-hmm.
masculine energy as well as the feminine energy, but don't know when to let that masculine energy kind of subside and
Right.
let the man is here now. The man is
Mm-hmm.
an upright guy. I've never met a man like him. He's moving like him. He's moving in the right direction. I prayed about it, and I can see us being together. But the part of me that's holding on to the negative aspects of the relationship that she may have dealt with in the past keep her from being soft or just expressing
Mm-hmm.
that feminine
Yeah.
energy. She still want to be the man, and when you got two masculine energies just bumping heads like that's not
It
going to
ain't
work.
gonna work.
So how do you begin to soften them to kind of recondition them to feel at peace with letting that masculinity kind of energy subside a little bit and let the man take over?
I think I think it comes with like, well, you already like gaining her trust, like asking her too, like, you don't trust me? You know what I'm saying? Like a woman gotta trust you. But also just being able to verbally communicate effectively.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm coming at her in a way where it's aggressive, I gotta understand that she's gonna come back to me in a way that's aggressive. But if I'm talking to her in a way that I want her to respond to me in the same manner and let her know and that how I feel, then I believe she'll receive it.
Okay.
Now, some women, they may not. Like in my last, like it didn't matter how I would communicate. She just wanted to do what she wanted to do.
Regardless.
You know what I'm saying? So that was another red flag. It didn't matter how many times I communicated this with you. You might try to change it for a week, but then you go right back to your old ways. I don't want to deal with the
Right.
inconsistencies. You know what I'm saying? But if you got a good one where y'all can sit down, you can communicate, you can verbalize all your feelings and emotions to her, and she catch on like that, and she come back to you and let you know, like, I hear you, I understand you. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can move forward without even being mad at each
Right.
other.
Right.
Bro, you got you one. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I am now. I had to learn to be that way from my last
Right.
relationship. You know what I'm saying? I know now what triggers a woman. I know now how to talk to a woman to where it's not aggressive. or to make it seem like I'm trying to attack her, or to make it seem like I'm trying to be controlling. Because that's the thing.
Right.
Women feel like, "Oh, you trying to control me?" Like, I'm not trying to control you. I'm just letting you know these are my principles. These are my standards. I mean, and you're free to do what you want, but I'm just letting you know how I'm coming and how I'm standing on my principles and how I'm standing on my standards. And if you feel like you can't meet that, look, I love you and I like you, but I'm willing to just be this with you if you can't meet those
Right.
standards and those principles. Again, I love you and I like you, and I feel like we be a great match and we could do some great stuff together. You know what I'm saying? But my principles and my standards, I'm standing on them.
Right. So from the very start, you being honest, you laying it
Yeah,
out from the very
bro,
start. So
very
along the
start.
way, you
Yeah,
ain't got no room for
yeah, no,
misinterpretation or
ain't
misunderstanding because
none
I
of
gave
that.
it to you from the
Right.
start.
I'm letting you know
Right.
from the start. I think that's how, like you said, Don, like that's how me and Don started out. Like still to this day, like that's how we are. Like I let her know and she let me know. And I'm like, all right, like I can't get mad at you because you did state that at the very
Right.
beginning when we first started talking. So I can only accept what you're saying right now. I can't get mad at you because you already said that. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? It would be bad on my part if I got mad at you when you already explained this to me at the
I
beginning.
already told you what you're dealing with. And I think
Right.
that's key because we're going into a relationship or just the dating phase. The man will give the best of himself. The
Mm-hmm.
female give the best of himself. She put on she put on her best shoes,
Mm-hmm.
her best mentality, her best spirituality and love and femininity and softness and everything. But that's just a facade because if
Yep.
you're not willing at some point willing to sit down and open up to this man, look, I think we have a future together. I would like to have a future together, but there's
Mm-hmm.
some things you may need to know about me.
Yeah.
This is where I came from. This is how I feel. This is
Mm-hmm.
how, I may not fully understand it, but I'm giving it to you so you know
Right.
how to treat me. You know how to interact with me. You know how to
Exactly.
communicate with me. And the man does the same thing.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if it is a separation, y'all had understanding from the beginning and
Yep.
you separated, you still be able to move on and excel. It's not a
Exactly.
depressing, it's not a depressing time. We understand that we outgrew one another, but I'm still who I am. You
Right.
still are who you are and we still make it help each other in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But for us to grow, we have to move our separate ways,
Yeah, bro.
and we got to take care of our children.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the ideal way to go into a relationship. But moving on to like the relationship with man being in the household and man getting himself right, and man going back into the household and imparting this wisdom amongst his wife, his woman, his children. You know, that's you put this group together, um, and it's still early in its stages. The
Oh
men's
yeah.
huddle group, and I see great visions for it. But if you just want to explain briefly to the people what that group is about
Right.
and where we're going, how can they be a part of it?
Yeah. So the huddle is a group of four men. So the huddle, for people who don't know what a huddle is, if you ever play sports, I play football. So one of the strongest bonds that you can get when you play in a sport is when you come together with your teammates and you huddle up. So that's why I was like, all right, we're gonna call it the huddle because that's how I connected with my teammates playing football. So that's why I got the name Huddle Up. But it's a group of men that's going to come together that are going to allow themselves to become vulnerable, um, heal past trauma, current trauma, um, talk about situations that they're going through, ask for help, seek counseling, seek coaching, but also providing the same coaching, providing the same help, therapy to their family and to their community. So we're a group of men who want to better ourselves, but we also a group of men who want to go out into the community and want to see better for the community, and more so, we want to see better for these young men and these young women that are going to be next in line to become the next grown-ups. You know what I'm saying? Um, but also, we're gonna become a pillar in the community by being an investment group. We want to be a group of men that's going to invest in our community, whether that's buying the block, um, buying the shopping malls, buying houses, and being able to put families in houses, stuff like that. Grocery stores, or doing, making sure that we have I forget what they call them, but where we go out there and we have a garden, you know what I'm saying? Community garden and stuff like that. That's the type of stuff that I want to see us as men do, so that we can pave the way for families and for the community, you know. And
being present in that community, not only being present dealing with the households, but also you say putting something there, putting a garden there, you a rec center, a gym, educational center. You even though you're not physically there, we're still there to be a part of the life of the community.
Yeah.
So if one wanted to, if a man is listening to this and want to actually become a part of it, what process does he go through? Who do he contact?
I would say follow the Huddle Up men group on IG. It's Huddle Up Men on IG. I will also say come to one of the in-person meetings.
Most definitely.
Come to the in-person meetings. We post about the in-person meetings on IG. We don't have an email address yet. That's what we need to be working on. We need to get an email address so you can reach out to us on the email. You can reach out to Bossie, because he's one of the leaders on the Huddle Up Men group. So you can reach out to bro. You can reach out to myself. And then, like I said, just come to the interest meeting. You know what I'm saying? If you want to learn and understand what we got going on, if you're interested in being a part of what we got going on, pull up. You know what I'm saying? Anybody welcome, 18 and older. Anybody is welcome, 18 and older.
Right, regardless of what you've been through or what you may be going through, kind of get that out of your head, because we all have been through things. We're all continuously going through things. We're willing to grow together and help one another. So it's okay to come in. It's okay to be vulnerable. I know it takes the time to get to know another man before you just share your life story with the individual. But I'll let you know that being a part of this group has helped me. I've been around good, admirable brothers, positive brothers that have been through things I've been through. Some of them may have not been through the things I've been through, but we're learning from one another. We're growing with each other, and we just on a daily we have a group messaging on group me that we kind of each brother staying connected with the entire group throughout the day. And it may be, oh, I have a job for a brother, or I'm going through this, or you know, what's going on in this area, how can I assist? So we staying connected, so we're not, even though we're not physically together every day, because we have families, we have jobs, we have different things that we have to do ourselves. We're connected by way of this the group that we're in, and having access to it by way of texting. So that's been a great help to me as well. Even though I haven't physically met all the brothers, some brothers in there that I'm getting to know through text, and it always have to be in person for me to get to know you. We communicate on the phone, we communicate through text. So, you know, it's different these days. So when we do get together, we have a sense of closeness. It's not like we meeting each other for the second time. No, I talk to you every day, bro. I just don't see your face. So your words kind of depict who you are as a person. We could kind of change them around too, but in time you can see this person is consistent in his words, and when I meet him, his words match his actions. So you know, we have a strong bond and looking to do some very great things. So I encourage any of you brothers that just want to come out, and you don't have to verbally speak. You may just want to be silent and check it out at first, but we welcome you to the group. Like I say, it's on social media. We put it out on social media every time that the group is to meet, and it's open for everybody. What's your site, brother?
Coach Fawcett. You talking about my
Coach Fawcett
IG
as well. You're in the training as well.
So Coach Fawcett on IG. Fawcett is spelled F-A-U-C-E-T-T, and then Huddle Up Men. If you want to come to the meeting, the next meeting is at Taylor Smoke Cigar Lounge in Concord Mills, North Carolina, and that's literally like in the same area as the Concord Mills Mall. So if you've never been to Taylor Smoke, it's right there near Concord Mills Mall. And that's at 7 o'clock on February 7th. We will be meeting there in person. Come get a cigar with us, man. Come get you a drink. Come hear what we got going on and be a part of this great movement.
Most definitely. Brother, I hate to end this because I feel like we can go on.
Right.
You know, it's Saturday. We got things to do, but I welcome you coming out. I appreciate your wisdom.
Yes, sir,
I appreciate you being open and sharing a part of yourself, not only with me, also sharing it with every viewer that's out there, and just being open and being transparent. That's what we're about. So I love you, brother. I appreciate
you too, bro. Appreciate you,
dog.
I'm
with you on this journey.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna make it happen.
Have a great day.